Hey there, it's me, Core. Welcome to Exercising Self-Control from Fitness to Flourishing. Continuing the conversation that we had yesterday about starting any endeavor, new behavior, a habit that you want to start to have in your life. I heard Greg McKeown, who wrote a couple of books. Essentialism, I think, was his first one, but he was talking about something from his second book called Effortless. And he was recounting the tale of the expedition to reach the South Pole. And there was a Norwegian crew that was basically starting at almost exactly the same time as a British crew. And the strategy that they had to reach the South Pole and what happened. The British team did what I think most of us will do in these scenarios, in that they will just push hard whenever the circumstances allow, like good weather in this case, for them in particular. So on every day where sun was shining and the conditions were a little bit better for making progress toward the South Pole, they would go all out. They went as far and as fast as they could. And when the weather turned against them, then they would just hunker down, rest, and not move at all. They would just wait until, again, the conditions improved. The Norwegian team, however, came up with a strategy that they would travel 15 miles every day, regardless of the conditions. And I'll just cut to the chase. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear the ending. I'll give you that time right there. You can turn this off. The Norwegian team got to the South Pole, I think it was like 30 or 35 days, somewhere around there, before the British team, with that strategy of 15 miles a day, and just keep that measured effort going every day, regardless of the weather conditions. And there's a lot more to the story. I'm not going to go into that. But then that triggered another lesson that I'd heard from a very high-level athletic coach. And he was talking about the athletes that he had worked with over the years. And someone had asked him, what's the secret? What's the main thing that you need to do as an athlete to get to Olympic level in your skills and winning medals? And at the time, I didn't get it, his answer. He said this: the key is to avoid injury. And that just flew right over my head. But then over the years, that made more and more sense, because I did end up getting injured in my own training. And then I would have to stop training certain parts of my body. Like I would hurt my back, and then I was unable to do squats, for example. Like it had progressed over the time after I'd hurt my back. Like first it was, okay, I guess I just won't do good mornings anymore, because that was the first exercise where it really started to like, I can't do this. It hurts too much. And it's, okay, I won't do good mornings then. And then it became, okay, I guess I just won't do Romanian deadlifts anymore. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll just keep training. And I didn't deal with my back. And then suddenly it was like, I can't do back squats anymore. And I love doing squats and back squats. So it wasn't until that happened that I thought, okay, this is silly. I exercise to be healthy and to be able to move my body better than if I weren't exercising. So all of a sudden that lesson that Olympic caliber coach had mentioned clicked in my own head. The key to getting that skill of an Olympic athlete, not that that's what I was aspiring toward or anything, don't get that idea, but I was trying to be better than I was, right? I was trying to train, and I still do. When I do my workouts, I'm trying to train and get stronger, and even as I get older. But the key is, and was, according to this coach, don't get injured. Because if you can imagine an actual potential Olympic athlete, if they get injured, they have to stop training, at least the way and at the level at which they were. Whereas all of the other athletes, let's say, that are in their event, they can continue training. So even if those other athletes were perhaps not as good, suddenly they can start to catch up because they have that time. They can put in a little bit more effort. They can put in a little bit more practice. So avoiding those injuries. And that ties into that race to the South Pole between the Norwegian crew and the British crew. The British crew, they pushed too hard. They tried to do too much when they were able to do what they could. When they decided, okay, today's a good day to travel, let's go as hard and as fast as we can. And they were just starting to get exhausted. So that when the weather did turn on them, even when they were resting, they still had to deal with the weather. And so they weren't able to recover as well. Whereas the Norwegians, a nice measured pace. So they would get a little bit fatigued maybe on those hard days, but then they actually were able to recover even as they were traveling on the good days. And when they really did rest, well, then it might have even been a good day and they ended a little bit early and they could sit around and maybe enjoy the sunshine. I don't know what the conditions are in the South Pole, but I'm sure that good in their terms is a lot different than sitting in a balcony on a sunny day in a cafe, but it's all relative. So when you do get that start, referring back to yesterday's podcast, find a pace that works, that you can do measured effort, and don't push too hard. You need to make effort, and we'll get into that a little bit another day, another topic. I'm trying to keep these short. And that measured effort, even when you're starting, find something that you can do over and over again. And the rest periods obviously will be applicable to what you are doing. If it's strength training, for example, you need that day off. You need that time to recover for the muscles, the nervous system to grow from the stimulus, and then you're back at it in a 24 to 48 hours, depending on the intensity. But you find the pace. So it's not effortless, the name of Greg McKeown's book, but it is a measured effort. That's it for today. Catch you next time.